Very sensitive need.
We're going to move on, talk about the latest issue of Batman Gotham After Midnight, #3 to be specific. I love this series.
It's fantastic.
It is so good.
Very good.
Not only is the writing great, and normally I'm half and half on Steve Niles' work, but the art is fantastic.
Yeah.
You have the most ridiculously over-the-top, scary Batman ever. He's just, most of the time, he's like this lurking demon with big, dark fangs. And it's really fun to look at.
Yeah.
It also feels a lot like Long Halloween to me, just in the way that each issue, essentially, there's a new Batman villain coming in, and he's dealing with that, but there's also an overarching history. Have you been?
I want toys based on that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. That Batman robot on the very last page is incredible, and the back page too. It's beautiful.
So
yeah.
There's this whole plot device where the main villain says to Clayface, you remember when you tried to absorb Batman, but it didn't work, he burst out of you. Well, why don't you try it with somebody not as strong? And so Clayface does, and then starts to absorb the entire city of Gotham.
Yeah, he's just grabbing people.
Grabbing people and eating them and stuffing them. It just becomes as tall as a gigantic building. So Batman says, I'm going to have to pull out something bigger. And in the last page of this giant splash page, a giant Clayface and Batman in this ridiculous steampunk robot facing off with people running away in the background. It's fun.
They are going to fight.
It's cool to see the things that you love kind of done up and like kind of turned up over the top a little bit in a fun way that you know it's just like, oh, they're just doing this Batman After Midnight thing, so they're making them so much more scarier and creepier, and like all of his toys are different, and it's cool to be like, oh, this is a different Batcave, this is all the different stuff. It's a fun issue. It's a fun kind of world to get into.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
And you guys would say pick it up?
Oh
Yeah, definitely.
Well, but the Joker's just watching it happen.
Yeah.
Joker's just hanging out watching.
Yeah, he's got a front row seat. Oh, you didn't know that?
He's supposed to be locked up.
He's just eating popcorn and watching Clayface take over Gotham. That's pretty cool.
He's got to be happy about that.
Yeah.
You know, once Clayface takes over, he can do whatever he wants.
That's true.
Oh, once one of those guys in charge are all friends. They're all going to like, over. It's going to be a whole party thing.
Like, we've taken over the city, let's play poker.
Finally, now that Batman can't stop us, we can finally have our poker game.
Well, they can relax. As a villain, they gotta be like, oh, I gotta get Batman. And so finally, they can be like,
Oh, I gotta play poker.
well, yeah.
Maybe they have a gambling
I don't
Poker
think
with the Joker.
There you go.
I was trying so hard. I was trying so hard not to do a lame Joker joke. Poker.
Got it.
Nailed it.
That's it for the start. It's time for our next section, which is my favorite section because it's the section you guys make up. It's your audience questions. For that, we're going to go over to Booth Bag.
How's it going?
Good. Welcome back.
You're back. I did a photo shoot so that I could stay on the show, and they made me take off my shirt.
What?
Like the Suicide Girls thing. That's like the only thing I heard, and then it's like,
Suicide Boys.
Yeah.
You just made $1 million.
Trademarks.
If any of you have any good ideas, trademark them. Out loud.
Every Keith tattoo boy I knew.
Just decide whether you want to trademark or copyright it and shout out one of those words.
This question is trademark, by the way. What was the craziest Silver Age DC story you've ever read?
I would have to say it's the one where Lois Lane, it's not an imaginary story, goes back in time, saves Krypton. She finds a technology that will save Krypton.
Beach device.
Yes. She realizes she can't go back. So something about the device she built ruined her time bubble. So she decides that she's going to take Jor-El because Kal-El hasn't been born yet. So she's going to steal Jor-El from Laura. And then apparently Jor-El and Laura do this thing where they meet in a park in the middle of the night and just make out in the dark. It's really anonymous. So Jor-El leaves a message for, this is going to be in a collector's edition. This is one of my books I'm trying to get in. Jor-El leaves a message for Laura. Lois picks up the message and meets him instead. So she's making out in the park with Jor-El, but he can't tell the difference because it's dark. It's true. Laura comes, smacks her around a bit, and calls her a hussy or whatever. Turns out that Lois built the device on Kandor. So Brainiac comes, shrinks down Kandor with the device that saves Krypton, puts it in a bottle, takes it away. So now the device that saves Krypton isn't there anymore. So it's going to explode, but somehow Superman finds out that Lois is back there, goes back in the past and gets her.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Really like Shakespearean.
Kind
of gross.
Yeah. Hanging out with your boyfriend's dad.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, we can't talk.
I wonder if.
Wait, one thing, there was the one where Superman had a bunch of weird powers back in the day, and one of them was he could shoot a small version of himself out of his hand, and the panel is like, I'm gonna go do something else, save these asteroids, save the planet from these asteroids, and he shoots out, and then he's like, he goes to a bar or something.
That kryptonite's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. If any comic series / graphic novel could be made into a movie or TV show, etc., which one would you want it to be?
Wow.
Dolly.
We already actually, I was going to say, I said this last time I was on the show, but I thought Why the Last Man would make a much better show than a movie.
But it's going to be a movie.
I know. It is. It's going to be a movie. I mean, they made TV shows out of movies before, but in terms of like conceptually how it encompasses they have a 4-year arc in the books. And a lot of twists and turns, a lot of different like years spent in different locations, and a lot of like really kind of like hard goals, stuff like that. And then a lot of different people who make great, fascinating characters have given proper theatrical light. A lot of people make a lot of different characters make a lot of cool stories. That I don't think is possible to capture in a movie. I think that would be great, like miniseries.
Yeah. There's a series I'm completely blanking on the name of, so this is a terrible example to bring up, but it's set in the Marvel Universe and had 6 issues. It was kind of manga style about these robots that are fighting evil robots in the Marvel Universe. And it was such a cool story, and I think it would be such a great TV series, such a great way for Marvel to do the Marvel Universe without having to concentrate on the superheroes. It could just be sort of side things, and all you would have to do is deal with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Live wires.
Yes, thank you.
Nice.
That's why we're all here. That's why we're all here.
We're a community.
It's Brian Ballister's from the 80s. It was a 12-issue miniseries. Anybody remember it?
Came out 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on the racks. I never read
What was it about?
King Arthur comes back in the year 3000. Earth is being taken over by aliens, and all of his knights are reincarnated and eventually get their memories back and eventually stick around.
There's a way where they could take those last few pages from Suicide Girls and Hack Slash and make those into a TV show.
Maybe like a minute-and-a-half web clip.
Oh, something where I can see it and feel it.
Yeah, rather than actually.
Does it have to be a minute and a half?
Could be longer.
I don't think a minute.
You know what you can do?
That's a touche.
Yeah, so, or you can just watch it over and 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 over. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Pete, what about you?
I'm gonna. I would really like to see. Well, let's see. Hackslash's been made. So, like everything that I really like is kind of like. I was excited to find out that they're going to do a Goon, the Goon in a animated movie. That's going to be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
I really like the way Persepolis was done. So I'd like to see more stuff like that where the animation is really kind of looks like a comic. That would be a lot.
Cool. Next question.
Cool. Is Avengers the Initiative or any other title ending in the next year?
Yes, some titles are ending in the next year.
Tough.
Cool.
No, it's not. That one does well.
Avengers Initiative does very well, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So, no, that's probably not ending.
And somehow, it's not even part of the Avengers family, but it gets lumped into them. So I think people just buy it. It's been very good.
Yeah.
If you wanted to end, you just stop buying it.
You write your own panel, like you just write the last panel yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know we don't usually know what's ending until we'll know at the same time.
Come on.
No, we're insiders.
Come on.
Yeah, you guys-